If math is all about the facts, then how do we teach our children about the symbology of numbers that we see in history, including the Bible? Our current perspective on numbers is that only factual information has value. However, this rubs up against what we read in historical fiction in how numbers are viewed symbolically, including in the Bible. Today, we're going to unpack this concept, and you may have never thought about teaching math this way before. This video is part of our curriculum series where we are going through each one of the subject areas and looking at the main purpose of why we even teach this subject, as well as what topics are included in each of these subject areas, and an interesting perspective or thought that you may have not approached this subject with before. If you are new here, I want to welcome you. My name is Natalie Burns, and my purpose here is to support homeschooling moms to create connection with their children through teaching so that you can have the freedom to reflect who you are as a family. So when it comes to teaching mathematics, so many of us tend to just go to a workbook and say, just do this workbook and we'll be all good for the year. This is typically due to that being a really easy way for us as homeschooling moms to teach, and it being a really easy way to assess. It's also very helpful if you have a home learning support teacher or some sort of certified teacher involved through a private school. Work pages are a really easy way for them to see where your child is at with these different concepts. But do these work pages really help our child achieve the purpose of math? What is the purpose of math? Well, obviously, we see the language of mathematics in all sorts of areas of our lives. We use numbers in the rhythm of life as a way to count the days, the hours. We use it for measurement, for creating value. And obviously, our whole money system is based off of a knowledge of numbers. The mathematical skills that we are teaching our children are going to serve them when it comes to problem solving. Now, each of us has experienced so many opportunities for problem solving, and our children are going to experience many opportunities in their lives for problem solving. So having these mathematical skills worked out now when they are at home and they're supported and encouraged in these problem solving moments is going to serve them so well in navigating their unknown future. When it comes to the topics included underneath the mathematical umbrella, we have various topics in the elementary years, and then we have more specific topics in the older years. So for your elementary aged child, these different concepts are number concepts, patterns, measurement, shapes, algebra, money, fractions, geometry, and probability. For the higher level streams of mathematics, your child may choose just one of these streams, the options being calculus, computer science, geometry, statistics, and workplace and apprenticeship. Because there are so many of these various streams, I mentioned it's really easy to just use a book to make sure that your child is hitting each of these streams each and every year. And for some people, this is the most optimal approach if you really enjoy teaching through math workbooks and your child enjoys learning through math workbooks. However, not all children enjoy learning through math workbooks, and most parents don't enjoy the process when your child doesn't enjoy the process. So because from a teaching perspective, I do recommend going through each of these topics each year, a way that you can see visually if you are hitting each of these topics is through a visual subject management system, which I created one just for you to make sure that you know what it is that the subjects are, what are the topics included there, and what options you have for how you want to approach these subjects in your homeschool. This is a way for you to see visually what is the main idea that you are going to be teaching to each of your children, and then you can personalize this so that it actually reflects who you are as a family. So these subjects can serve you rather than feeling like you're a slave to the things that you're supposed to be doing. Not only can you personalize this in a pre-planning type of process, you can also use this in reverse as a reverse planning tool so that you can just log what actually got done. This subject management system workflow beautifully blends that pre-planning approach, that type of big picture mindset, with the flexibility that we need as homeschooling moms to actually approach teaching and learning from our personalized perspectives. All right, so now that you know what the whole purpose of math is and what topics are included when it comes to mathematics, I would like to go back to that first thought and really challenge you to think about math from a different perspective, the perspective of symbology. Nowadays, in our time period, the collective understanding is that only factual information has value. However, this is not the way that the world was always viewed in history. In the past, the symbology of numbers was just as valuable to the listener or the reader as these actual literal numbers. Do you think that this is something that your child may be interested in exploring this year? It is a big thought, though it's not a big deal to incorporate this type of thinking in your homeschool. You can weave this concept of mathematics in with your social studies and even biblical studies. For example, multiples of 7 has been seen as perfection. When we have an openness to viewing numbers in light of history as literal or perhaps symbolic, we can hold space for understanding a different perspective. Maybe there is a higher perspective than just our own with what we know right now at this day and age. Seeing numbers symbolically and allowing ourselves to kind of rub up against this concept really allows us to start to understand God's perspective a little bit more deeply and how we can change and adjust our perspective in light of biblical perspective. In this way, we can actually start to make a shift from viewing the Bible in light of our own experiences and understandings right now to instead looking at our current understanding and experience and interpreting that in light of God's perspective as He shows us through the Bible. Does this sound like something that maybe you would like to incorporate in your homeschool this year? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this was intriguing to you and you are interested in hearing more with the other subject areas, then I invite you to subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's video. And in the meantime, while you wait for that, make sure that you check out that link for the subject management system and see what that's all about. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.